Welcome to the first episode, guys, for our WeBe Talking Web3 podcast. And today, we are here with Craig Pereira, Ian Almeida, Aditya John, and your host Puro, right? And we are going to talk about Web3 and cover a couple of interesting topics today. Right, I'm very excited. This is Crazy Cyber Crew community's IP, and one of our many IPs. But yeah, this is pretty interesting, and we're very happy to be with all of you here. So Web3 is our main topic for today. Do you guys have any interesting thing just to kick things off? Like, what's the most interesting thing that you guys have seen in the Web3 space? Like a interesting anecdote or something. You guys have anything to share? Maybe Craig?
Yeah, so recently Elon changed the Twitter logo to the
Dogecoin.
Shiba
Went up 30% after that.
Yeah, that was
So it's basically like when Elon Musk kind of smoked up on like Joe Rogan's podcast. Tesla went down, but I think like Dodge went up, and it's not just one stock that you need to keep a track of when Elon talks, like one more stock. Yeah, but that's really cool, the entire.
Anytime Elon is doing something, you got to pay attention.
Pay attention to
Twitter profile.
It's only a matter of time till he integrates crypto, in Twitter.
I mean, Twitter being on the forefront on this space, pretty interesting. So I would like to kind of start with the first series of questions and topics that we want to cover.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to learn a little bit. I would like the audience to learn a little bit more about you guys as a personality. Right. So maybe a little bit of an introduction and a background to who you guys are, what you guys do, and how you got acquainted with Web3. Right? What is from where you are, from the shoes that you're wearing, what is that first eyesight into Web3? So we'll start from, since we started over there, now we'll start from this way. So we'll just
Ian speaks the longest, so I think his introduction.
So we'll keep it safe now. We'll keep it safe. We'll be safe for now. We'll keep it safe. We'll keep it in the middle, sandwiched it. Yeah. So we'll start from this side, right? So
okay.
Aditya, you can kind of give an idea, introduction.
It was lockdown number 2. Mind was fried. But I didn't want to be a victim. I wanted to just see what opportunities are there. Came across online, Bitcoin is going up. I said, let's do some research about what it is. Did some research, found out what's the core values, got attracted to it, mostly for the quick money at that time. Invested.
I mean, who doesn't want?
Yeah, and just invested in that, and then started reading about blockchain technology, about how it can affect different industries. Got sold into what Bitcoin is trying to do, the bigger philosophy. It resonated with me about decentralization, not printing unlimited money, no central government controlling it. Those kind of things resonated with my personality. Always been a little bit of a rebel. Then came NFTs. For the longest time, I'm like, man, this is a scam. It's JPEGs. But the number.
What are these monkeys?
It's all going to come crashing down, and they'll take the crypto industry with it, because everything for a regular folks, everything is under one umbrella. Mm-hmm. They can't differentiate between crypto or NFTs. It's getting there, but not there yet. Yeah. But then I said, okay, obviously had some more time. I started reading about it, and then got sold on to the NFT things. In Web3 or crypto, you have to actually believe in a certain kind of philosophy to be attracted to it.
Yeah.
You should aspire, or you should want to embody those principles. But NFTs, you were accepting decentralization, accepting crypto while having fun. Mm-hmm. And owning things digitally. When it clicked, it just clicked. I said, we love to own things physically. We're spending more time online. Ownership online is going to be a game changer. You don't have to believe in any of the principles of crypto. You just have to enjoy the assets.
Yeah.
You own a JPEG, you get some benefits. You have a community. At the same time, you're pushing the cause of decentralization. Absolutely. Pushing the cause of autonomy. So love that, and I said, okay, this is a game changer.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's going to take time till it gets to, we don't know what catalyst event it will be till it becomes mainstream.
Right.
But we're there for the ride, The space is only going to grow. So that's my shortish journey. But now we'll hear from the big boss.
Interesting
Boss.
perspective.
So yeah,
Um,
Ian, how did you kind of like?
so-
what shoes were you in like when you kind of encountered?
So I think mine would be the most craziest story of how I kind of got into like to this point of, I mean, not a particular point, but like this perspective, I guess, in digital collectibles, crypto, NFTs. All started with an accident back in college. One of my friend was going around telling people, and he told me that, hey, there's this thing called Bitcoin, and it's all over the news, and you should definitely check it out. Like, it was not mainstream on the news at that point, but he found out about this digital kind of currency, and he's like, we can invest in this, and you can make money. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I had no clue. This is like me at like 11th grade in college, so I have no clue about investing.
So last year?
finance. No. Fun. I had no background information or knowledge about investing or entrepreneurship or anything. Like, I'm new as anyone would hear something very weird, like, hey, there's this thing called Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So, but as a person who's interested in technology, I was curious enough to learn more about what Bitcoin is, right? And after doing a little bit more research, understanding what it is, and coming to a certain conclusion with whatever information that was available at that particular point of time, which was around 4.5 years ago, approximately, there were certain exchanges that were based in India, and at that time, 5 years ago, there were not many exchanges. You had your ZepPay, that was like the main, and then Binance, right? Binance was again worldwide, but ZepPay was the only Indian kind of thing. Anyways, kind of put in a small amount of money into Bitcoin at that particular point of time, along with my brother. We both kind of stole money from our parents to buy a small fraction of whatever Bitcoin that was. And at this particular point of time, Bitcoin was like around 6 lakhs around trading at that particular point of time, and it was on its bull run, what people call it, right? When the coin's like really doing really well, and in a matter of 2-3 weeks or almost a month, it had reached a point of around 11 to 12 lakhs, and this was the time wherein like you had your news channels go crazy with those headlines, Bitcoin, and everyone is talking about it, and the government's now planning to ban it. As a 18-19-year-old kid, you're scared to see where your money is going to go, right? And I mean, it was like anyway, it was an experiment, but we pulled out from the entire crypto scene, and then I didn't look at crypto like almost for a year. Only after a year, I learned about, okay, there are such things called white papers, and there are projects based on crypto. I did a little bit more research and found out that people are using crypto or cryptocurrency to raise funds for their projects, and that's how I kind of got introduced to white papers and started studying about crypto news. What is investing, right? Because I think the biggest mistake anyone can do is invest without know what even investing is, right?
Right.
And agree, I did invest at that particular point, but I did not know what the principles or the mindset should be when you're
It was a
investing.
FOMO thing, like.
It was a FOMO kind of curious kind of a
Yeah.
thing, right? So you're just trying something out. I guess by doing this kind of experiment or accident, I learned a little bit of investing, the mindset at least that you need to keep in mind, because you can lose like a lot of money if you don't do the right things, right, or are not aware of certain things. And I guess that was one way of learning about cryptocurrencies and crypto and the whole space because of this one Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin was like the thing that gave PR to like decentralization and
Right.
what we call Web3 crypto. I think that was, if Bitcoin wasn't doing what it did like back in the day, we wouldn't really know about the technology called blockchain, right? Because Bitcoin uses blockchain technology, but we wouldn't know that unless Bitcoin hit that price level and people start talking about it.
Bitcoin is the gateway drug.
Exactly.
Gateway into everything.
Gateway. So yeah, I mean that's I
how
guess
you
my
kind of-
how I kind of got introduced into, I guess, crypto. I guess it was through a college friend, and I was interested in it, and lost money in it, and
The simpler answer is my college friend told me to steal money from my mom and dad and invest in Bitcoin. That was the long. That's what it was actually. In a nutshell, like
But
that
that was
five.
short for Ian.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty short.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, like if I had to say it, like if I was Ian, my friend told me to steal money. But Craig, how about you? Like, how was your experience?
Yeah, so for me, so it's a very interesting story, right? I don't have a timeline, such an elaborate one like how Ian knew exactly when he got in and it was this many years ago. But I heard about this thing, like Ian said, Bitcoin, and it was very interesting. It was something that was outside the system, right? The so-called system, or it was the people's money, or people are talking about it that way, and there was a lot of hype behind it. So I looked into it a little bit, and still I have no idea about this thing in general, but it seemed like a very interesting thing. So that made me want to learn more about decentralization, Web3, and there's other coins as well, right? So, like John also said, I was also a bit rebellious and did like the system. So I wanted to explore things that were sort of not mainstream and a bit rebellious outside the system, and that's what got me into the whole ecosystem of Web3. And yeah, you have to have a certain value system or mindset to really be into this thing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
Like appreciate what it stands for and what it's trying to do.
Yeah. So like a sort of middleman type of thing, wherein the people just directly can send money to each other.
Right.
Like a decentralized.
Decentralization.
You really resonated with the concept of
I
decentralization.
resonated well with it, and I liked the idea of it, and it was fun. And that's what got me into it.
So yeah, thanks a lot, Craig, for that interesting story of how you kind of just explored yourself, in Web3 and what kind of ideas and thoughts you resonate with. I'll just kind of briefly just talk about myself also a little bit. I kind of learned about Web3 purely due to Ian coming up with a random project. He was like, bro, I want to make some bulls, and I was like, what? What bulls? So he's like, so you take a shoe and then you take a horn and you mix the shoe and horns and you make another an image of a bull ka body, and you just mix all of these up and then you sell it online. I'm like, who the hell is buying this? Who's but then and then I did some research, and then I found out that some guy has bought an artwork for $69 million. Like, we know Meta Cohen, and I know how he bought people's RPs, but when I first got introduced to it, I was like, what is this world? I am in who's buying, because so my introduction was to NFTs before it was anything else. So for me the journey was a lot more mind-boggling, because NFTs are obviously a little bit harder to understand compared to Bitcoin. So my starter dot was not Bitcoin, my starter dot was NFTs, and that journey is a very different journey, because if you are just understanding NFTs, you understand it in concept to some extent, because you've seen digital collectibles in games already, like Counter-Strike. Certain skins on guns are worth 30,000-40,000 rupees. Certain skins on Dota are worth something. People spend a lot of money on Fortnite.
Exactly.
But people spending money on monkeys online and on... When I saw CryptoPunks, I was like, is this out? Pixel. But then the thing is, I understood the appeal. The more time I spent with it, and I think it was that random project that I did with you when I truly started understanding what Web3 is all about and what are the mentalities. And then I was like, until I got more and more acquainted with it, it did feel a lot. I wouldn't say it felt like a scam, but it felt unauthentic. Mm-hmm. It got a lot more authentic the more I kind of started exploring. Okay, who kind of came up with the idea, or and how they chose to kind of execute that idea, because execution is everything. And for the fact that Bitcoin, we still don't know who the person who started who Satoshi is, or who, is that a person or that. So all of the prudent, but apart from the as speculations, the way it's executed, they're still kind of silent, and the way they have kind of propagated that message or that narrative, all of it is I'm not going to say I'm for or against it, but I would say that
hard to understand at the start.
It was hard to understand, but I'm appreciative of the way these guys have gone about like sharing their opinions and ideas in the world, the way other people also are resonating with that, because somewhere centralization, has in history always been not for the masses.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like,
always been centralized.
It's always been centralized, and it's always like never.
Yeah,
The masses never. It's always been top down.
We're always been used to that. Yeah.
So, seeing an alternate system that is not top down, that is not focusing on haves and have-nots,
Yeah.
and is trying to like not exactly equalize everything, but kind of keep it at least it's not very biased.
Yeah.
So having a more unbiased system in place, or the thoughts
Everyone
of
has an equal opportunity. That's
equal opportunity.
Yeah.
That is a better way.
That's
outcomes will be different for everyone.
To translate that decentralization, that's exactly what Aditya is saying. It's giving everyone an
Giving everyone an equal ground to like kind of make their
absolutely.
mark. So that I think was the coolest way for me to like understand, about Web3,
Yeah.
and that's actually my
And for
introduction.
sure, I mean, like the reason I went to Puro was like because this was some permutation combination kind of stuff, right? Because you're randomly generating images.
Why you thought Puro will be the right person?
So, fun fact: when I was pausing my first startup, because Puro used to keep on telling me that, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're not doing this right. So he had more business sense, basically, management. So I used to kind of ask him. I used to go to his house and like take down notes like SOPs, how to build this system, that system. And then one day I got this project, and the day I got this project was also through a very weird way, because randomly someone
It was like sand banana.
like check this out. This
Yeah.
is what CryptoPunks is. We need to do the same thing, but we're not making CryptoPunks. We can different art altogether. Right? So to understand it initially was like, okay, we create like 10 different eyes, 10 different noses, 10 different mouths, and
Layers, right? These are layers.
yeah, different layers, and then you use permutation combination, and you could randomly generate it. At that particular point of time, nothing made sense. But how to make it, Puro knew how to do it. Right? So
But the real reason why he came to me was not because he came to me. I was like, location available. Hey, I want to shoot at your place. He was like, Arey, by the way, I'm doing this. I was like, bro, but this is so hard to do like
different
this.
things.
So it just kind of, and then he was
worked out perfect.
something.
But I think anyone who's got into Web3 from NFTs is a degen by nature only.
Yeah.
So if
Except
after getting introduced to NFTs, you think, wow, this is awesome and this is good.
Yeah, no?
Probably have a.
Kuch to galat hai.
Like a
Sus.
sus.
Yeah, something. Sus. Yeah. Maybe.
Except when you're just designing it, like
No, yeah, I know. When, but the client was like very fun because he didn't stop at like a bull. He was like, let's make a golden bull and stuff. So it went like Sone ka sand. Like another level. But I was like,
yeah.
so yeah.
Early days.
Like bullish. They were very bullish.
Fun times.
So awesome. So I guess like you guys know how we kind of got here. I guess at least the starting steps that
Into
we
the
took.
Web3 space.
Yeah. I would like to kind of like really touch upon like a lot of the main question that we have done a lot of sessions in colleges, and we've gone to a couple of spaces, a couple of communities to kind of give an introductory workshops for people to learn more. Like that's what Crazy Cyber Crew is all about too, right? Like basically kind of creating a good space for people to learn and grow. So we have done all this, but the kind of questions the first question I would say rather at the end of every session has always been, what coin do I invest in? Right. So I want to talk about
Frequently asked.
I want to ask you guys.
If I had a coin for every time someone asks me, which coin to invest
Then
in.
I would have had two Bitcoins every month. But so the thing is, I want to start with that question because that is the question that's the first question that people ask at the end of after everything that we said, out of all the things they're asking the first question. So what is the real financial advice that you guys would want to give to our audience? And let's start with Aditya.
I think if you have to ask anybody which coin to invest in, that means you're already doing it wrong. That means you should not invest in this.
Agreed. So strongly.
So
very good.
People want to take the shortcut, but 99% of the projects, if you invest without understanding, you will end up making a loss. So that's what's happening with the community. And then the perception comes that the crypto community is full of scamsters, full of this. There's also the people that are getting attracted to easy money, that's not the way to go about it. One has to understand what they're investing in, like anything you invest in. If I want to buy real estate, I'll buy in an area that I know. If somebody just tells me to go somewhere and buy without me knowing, chances are I will not make the money because I've not understood what I bought.
Yeah.
And if I made money, chances are the next one that I invest in, I'll lose it.
Yeah.
So I think it's even worse that if you get lucky in your first investment, then you think you are a genius. And you know which one to invest. But yeah, people do learn from others' experiences, and they want to burn their fingers. So I think you should not look at which coin to invest in. Learn about the space.
Right.
Then you figure out which coins or which projects you get attracted to, and then you can invest.
Yeah.
So go a little different.
Yeah. It's super important to, I think, if you're thinking about a certain coin or a certain project, is to read their white papers, to read what problem are they solving.
Absolutely.
Do they have any real world utility? Who is the founders? Is the roadmap unrealistic? Are they promising the moon? So watch out for certain red flags, right? Like you gotta see, are the owners doxed or not? See things like this, and what, especially for coins, like what is the problem they're solving? What is the use case?
Yeah, why should they exist?
Yeah, exactly. If they're just some meme coin, like they're not backed by anything solid like a technology or a actual product, then it's a little bit of a suspicious thing. You should be
like you're saying read the white paper, not just the white lies.
Yes, exactly. Do your own research. Research.
Yeah, but I think you should, if you look at it from a startup's point of view, that every coin or every NFT project is a startup. And how would you evaluate a startup? You would see the founders, what they have done.
Absolutely.
You would see what they're promising. Are they capable of executing?
Is there any proof of work or concept?
Obviously. Yeah. So similar principles if you carry on to the Web3 world, because investing as such in the macro level, the principles stay the same.
Absolutely,
100%.
And I think, like you said, investing at a macro level, right? So even if you look at like investing in like a non-Web3 kind of space, people don't invest without knowing what the company does. Over here, the idea of Bitcoin, or like they're just looking at percentages and the return rate and like how much it is appreciated in a short period of time and whatnot. But I think people fail to kind of think about how it's not a finance first approach that you need to have in any new field that you're entering. Of course, there are going to be great projects in any new technology, right?
Absolutely.
And if you think about just the financial side, and which is what the world I think kind of really got bullish on, like okay, this is just appreciating, and the adoption is not even as much, and it's faster than the internet. Adoption is faster. Just these thoughts, when it overtakes, I think you kind of miss out on the technology and what it's actually capable of. What is the space giving you, or what's the space about? No, people are like, Bitcoin went from this to this, and that's why I need to look at it, not because what the tech is kind of giving us value from.
The whole value prop of Bitcoin is also that you can send money to anyone, no matter the sanctions, no matter
it's a decentralized
exactly
financial
the main thing, like I guess, that I faced when you guys are talking about like financial kind of advice, I think the main thing I would say is like, don't try to be a day trader if you do not know what trading is or investing is, right? People you've invested in something, in a coin for some whatever reason. Don't look at it every day and then make emotional decisions about a particular,
because it's such a volatile market. And for day traders, the guys whoever is a day trader, I'm not going to say like if you're a trader, then be a trader. Honestly, like this is again not financial advice.
But don't be a day trader if
it's a volatile market.
A day trader in the past.
It's a volatile market, and investing wise,
exactly.
Kind of like
what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people who have never invested money in their lives before, come into the scene of crypto, and then they try to be day traders by investing into.
I think I won't be as politically correct as yours. I mean, you guys, if you're a day trader in the crypto field, you will lose money. 0.001%.
volatile.
I think the opposite of financial advice. Please don't do that. I think
100%.
And especially don't invest with FOMO, like just because something is going on.
Oh yeah, I mean, patience is the number one thing in investing, right? And due diligence and patience.
So patience and education go hand in hand because
Yeah,
there
100%.
will be correction.
Yeah.
If you've not understood what you're invested in, that means you'll buy at the top and when you panic sell
Sell
down.
at the bottom,
But
exactly.
if you have understood what you're invested in and you're passionate and you believe in it, then obviously and your belief is true, then you'll bounce back and then you
Right.
have a chance of making some
And if,
money.
and if you're also so confident about, let's say, a particular project, you don't need to take it. You just invest in it
And
and
forget.
probably forget about it.
Yeah,
Right? That's how kind of
if you
investing
really
is.
believe in it, like if you believe in the project, if you understand what the space is giving you,
Yeah.
the project, what it's actually about, and not just the numbers, then you do it. Because at that point, it's not about like making a return anymore. It's
Yeah,
about
exactly.
you trying
Supporting
to
the
supporting
project,
that project
solve
because
the
that's
problem.
what you're about,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I think that kind of a philosophy
So
is what I at least kind of
I think
keep in
it
mind.
all boils down then again to like mindset, right? What mindset are you in as
Yeah.
a person entering this field? That's super important, and
Absolutely.
I believe like the mindset of the people all over the world or in India as well is a little bit different, and I think that we are on a way to helping people to understand a different perspective or different mindset and when entering this space.
Awesome.
So Puru, we said what mindset you shouldn't have. So I think for the viewers, say maybe 3 things mindset-wise that they should have before entering the space.
I would say the first thing is you need to have patience, and like avoid the impulse that FOMO kind of gives you. The second thing is like you need to have the nature of like curiosity, rather than I would say like bullishness, right? Curiosity over bullishness. When you try to learn about what the project is trying to do or what the space is, and then you kind of like take an action, and you need to have I would say so the patience before entering is one patience. The third thing I would say is patience after entering, because when you enter it, like once you have invested is when now you need to kind of calm down even more, because the markets are so volatile in the space. It's a market that doesn't shut. It's a 24-hour market. At least it's like 9 to 3 or whatever, right? Like the regular markets, yeah.
And the barriers to entry are like almost not there.
Non-existent.
Non-existent. So if you're really like there's no demat account or anything, you just like kind of like get an app and you get started, right? Due to exchanges and stuff. So having the patience after entering is also a very important thing. So these are the main 3 things that I would say.
That's good relationship advice also. Maybe we'll have a relationship podcast.
Yeah. So DeFi relations, like how do you like how does one person have many? Yeah,
Just to add to what Puro said also, it's important to DYOR, which is do your own research and don't listen to predatory influencers, because that's another problem. A lot of influencers on social media will shill these projects just for a quick buck, and poor investors who are a bit gullible, they fall for these scams and then they end up losing a lot of money.
Awesome.
And I think that's super important because people who are having that FOMO, we are creating. If you're a person who's FOMO, you're creating those people who allow you to scam you, because you're showing them demand of a particular thing, and they're more than happy to feed that to you.
Yeah, really, I agree, and I would say we are going to touch upon these topics in the future as well.
Absolutely.
But just to interrupt, it's important who you follow. So choose your influencers wisely.
Yeah,
And we will not meet a toxic friend, or we will not hang out with people who don't have our best interest at heart.
Yeah.
So it's best, the people who share projects or they try to get you into the FOMO space to maybe not follow them or take them too seriously.
Yeah.
That's well said. Well said.
Yeah.
And I would say like with respect to like how Web3 is kind of developing, one of the other things that we definitely should kind of like make it clear, or like at least throw some light on, would be how Web3 has been within India, because I don't see any proper like pioneer, not even a pioneer, but like I see that everyone is confused, or everyone is like a little bit wavering about like how to proceed with like Web3 interests in India, or like how to be an enthusiast, or like just kind of like what do you call it? Go about the space from within India, because the government doesn't seem to be like too supportive, maybe,
The tax is so high on it.
or what not, right? So what are your
100%.
thoughts on like Web3 in India? Ian, would you like to give a
I mean, so being a person who was initially introduced to this 4.5, 5 years ago, with 5 years worth of data, this is what I can say today. Right, from my perspective, for Web3, or let's just say blockchain or crypto in India, because not a lot of people understand what Web3 is, right? I've seen India being a country that would really benefit and would want to get into crypto, but we've had a mix of news and media when it comes to banning cryptocurrencies and then not banning it, and whether is it actually banned? Because I remember in a year I heard 7 times across like the 12 months like crypto is banned, but it was not banned, right? And it just created FUD for a lot of people. A lot of people lost money because they just sold their investments at that particular point of time, right? So I think in India we need to be a little bit more informed and understand really what the technology is. Let's not look at news completely, but rather do our own research and understand what is this technology. Can it actually be banned? Because people don't understand that a blockchain as a technology, you can't ban a technology. I can't ban electricity from happening, right? So
I mean, it's simply like like arms race, right? Like,
right.
If you ban it in your country, then you're gonna be a third world tomorrow, or like you're gonna be at a disadvantage tomorrow, because no one is not gonna, like, other people are gonna stop. It's just similar to like AI, right?
Yeah,
like, I don't want to get too much into it, but like Elon Musk was saying, like, let's control the development of AI, or like let's kind of set guidelines to how much we develop this technology.
Right.
And just by saying that, it's not like China will stop. Or
it's I mean, again, it's a community, and everyone are human beings at the end of the day, right? If you show someone how to build something, you give them the tools, they gladly build it, and whether you tell them to build it or not, it's their decision at the end of the day.
I think Indians are very enterprising. With technology, with 5G or 4G reaching, even the remotest part of India, it's ripe for a Web3 revolution. But the government, if they can't support it, should not, I think, put too many restrictions on it. Let it grow organically. Because I think we can be leaders in this space.
There's a way of, I guess, going about certain things, but I'm obviously I never like to get into like the legal side of things in any type of situation or topic. But yeah, I guess there is a way of going about it and disseminating information, because I feel people are still not very informed on like this being a technology.
They'll read one news article about WeBe banned, they'll assume it's banned.
And news articles are not the best way to learn about this technology. I think actually going into reading a few books about it, understanding what read Bitcoin's white paper, right? Understand that. I guess if you do that, you'll find much more answers than you would get from news articles and your online.
Just see news articles when the internet came out. They called the internet a scam. They said internet is dead. When the 1999 bust happened, everyone like newspapers, they spread that kind of information or the sentiment at that time. But people who understood the long-term potential, they went on to change the world, earn billions of dollars, and solve so many problems.
Exactly.
So anyone who relies too much on the news, will probably be at a disadvantage, because like all news channels, everyone has their own agenda.
Exactly.
But,
and another huge problem that I see is like, because of like imposing such taxes and everything, not only are you like, okay, fine, we understand the sentiments of like you don't want people to like enter the space, but there's also a lot of capital that has flown like out of India, because of because very good talented like people are like already like leaving our country because they feel like opportunities are better outside. This is just adding fuel to that fire. And some Polygon, which was a unicorn, it's a unicorn of India, they have like shifted to Dubai or Singapore or whatever. Like it's no more at a point where it's causing more harm than we
are exporting of our talents.
But a big shout out to Polygon. I think they're single-handedly got so many people introduced or heard about crypto
100%.
or blockchain or Web3
Yeah.
just by their success.
That's why their
Absolutely.
You know,
success.
their dark future story, their dynamic attitude,
100%.
you know,
And the product, I guess,
and
at
the
the end-
product,
at the end of the day. Great documentation, I guess. Great.
Yeah, we
way of
love
going
it so
about
much. Our collection is on Polygon.
On Polygon.
So,
Yeah, powered by Polygon.
What else? We not only we believe in them. We
No,
believe in what they're doing.
Absolutely,
long term, so-
absolutely. I mean, and Polygon has a lot of cool things that they have done as well, right? For the Indian
100%.
space, even during right from COVID, like they actually donated a lot of even Shiba Inu donated a lot of money
Yeah.
for what do you call it, India. But even Polygon was a huge part of the drive. So the government also got a lot of donations, and the government also had a lot of gains, right? But I don't know. Like at the end of the day, like somewhere I think the governments of the world in general, have poor sentiments towards it, and it could be insecurity, but at the same time,
I feel threatened by it,
threatened. I think so, maybe, but maybe a little bit more openness might be
Absolutely.
helpful.
I think,
like,
maybe as people of the community, I think it's our job equally to help educate as many people as possible. Educate just about the technology.
Yeah, just
not a
educating
particular, product or anything. Understand? It's like we're showing you how to create what electricity can do. You can make bulbs. You can
exactly, right?
things,
Because it's better to be
informed.
either be completely ignorant, right, or be informed,
Right.
but well informed.
Yeah.
Don't be halfway.
Exactly.
Don't just hear one side, or don't just
And make up your mind.
and then
Correct.
So either you're like, oh, Bitcoin में invest करेगा FOMO and you invest, or you go 2 hours, you're like, oh no, Web3 means I need to stay away. I am away out of scamsters.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
you lose out on blockchain as a technology then,
Yeah.
right? You can lose out on all the digital registrations that you can kind of implement in your business or in your government, because governments, imagine voting just kind of happening on the chain.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that would be a great way to make sure.
It will be a great way to authenticate. It will be a great way to get people to adopt it. In the sense, you currently are wasting a lot of resources and time to get votings or anything, any kind of election or any kind of registration process now. But all of it on chain is going to save a lot of time, effort, money.
And prevent fraud as well.
Prevent fraud as well.
Such an
So
important thing.
No duplication.
Yeah.
So
And what about every area having its own DAO
Yeah.
and deciding where should the public funds go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they need a
what do they want to
what
actually
can
invest
spend
on? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
no one can
local municipals
vote
kind
for
of.
another person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, even if the government implements it, even if government implements if municipals implement DAO to to some aspects in their area, you cannot involve 100% of a locality to take every decision, but you could at least kind of judge sentiments,
Yeah.
and at least the decisions could be suggestive to the DAO's outcomes, or what the DAO kind of thinks. And I would say it doesn't need to be this or that. It can be a little bit of hand in hand too.
100%.
I think that
And one interesting insight, I guess, by interacting with a lot of people, speaking to a lot of people think about Bitcoin when you say the word blockchain, and I think that's a very big, not misconception, but I do believe Bitcoin and blockchain both came up together, right? I mean, because they both were invented together, but blockchain is simply a technology, and Bitcoin is one product at the end of the day that's created out of this technology.
It's one use case.
It's one use case at the end of the day.
I think that's a good point, because I would also like to throw light on 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think are the boundaries of Web3 in general then? Right? Is it just Bitcoin? Is it Bitcoin NFTs? Is it Bitcoin NFTs metaverse? Or is it Bitcoin NFT metaverse AI, the Internet of Things? Is it everything that where do you draw the boundary exactly?
So talking about Web3, I think in order to define Web3, I guess the best way to define it is, I would say Web3 is more of the semantic web. It's the 3 keywords I would use to define this term Web3 is your decentralization, blockchain, and AI, and another keyword like machine learning AI. So it's a bunch of all these things, and I don't think we are in Web3 yet. We are still on our way
Transitioning
from
from Web 2 to Web 3.
Web 2 to Web 3.
What about you?
I
You also
think
feel
give some
Web3?
perspective on Web 1, Web 2 was
Yeah,
to
so
come to Web 3.
Web 1 was
So I
like
think
your-
read only. You have
Exactly.
a static website. If I make tires, I would make a website of my tires. People
Exactly.
would read the information. Web 2 was all about interacting, social media, not only reading, also engaging, and user-generated content. You
Yeah.
know, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, so
Facebook.
all the content is generated by users.
Yeah.
I think Web 3 will be taking this one step ahead, where we'll have ownership online.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and obviously ownership online means you've adopted blockchain technology.
Mhm.
You're using cryptocurrency. You have digital assets which are NFT. Everything you put online in Web3 will will have the potential to be sold and be monetized.
Yeah. And you also have more control over your data, right? So it's not centralized to, let's say, Twitter's database. It's decentralized, and everyone has more control over their data and information.
Yeah.
That's an important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a very important thing
Important
that
thing. Yeah.
Web 1, Web 2, Web 3 का क्या है.
Yeah.
But Web 3 में, for example, like I think Ian and I resonate on the same level, and I also feel like we are on the transition of Web 3 because you cannot now just because like machine learning and AI came in, you cannot call that Web 4.
Exactly.
I don't think like that's like Web 4. I think that's a very integral part of Web 3 too. I would say like there is Internet of Things wherein everything has like intelligence, some kind of like the couch that you're sitting on is able to sense like what's the temperature that is required or whatever. Seat warmers or whatever. Like if your fan knows like okay you feel like you need a fan, it just turns on its own, and like everything kind of being connected and all this intelligence and connectivity and data and then machines learning that and your decentralization so that you can store data decentralized in a decentralized manner so that it's usable by the entire ecosystem. All of these things like I think for me I would also say Web3's borders. I know where it kind of starts, but I can't really say where it ends.
Because we've not explored everything.
Yeah, I don't think like you can put a boundary to this is where it ends right now.
We are yet to explore. I'm pretty sure like the next generation that's upcoming that has now been doused with all this technology and all this information and knowledge. Pretty sure they're going to be creating something.
Something, yeah. I mean, it's already so many things in such a short period of time. It's obviously, I think, the potential.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I don't know if you guys heard of Moondown, but they sent like that guy some people to the moon, not to the moon, into the orbit. So
I
it's
mean,
pretty cool.
I haven't heard of it, but
insane.
Hmm.
So I think we've talked quite a lot about governments and
Yeah.
So let's kind of tone it back again, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit, थोड़ा chill down. So what is like what do you say? What are your favorite and worst, like not hated, but like what are projects that you like a lot, right? And you don't like. I would say let's keep this session like kind of like one like and one like project that you didn't like, right?
Right.
So Craig, would you like to go first?
Sure. So a project that I like is Monero, which again comes back to the whole previous topic that we talked about. But yeah, so the whole thing about Monero is it's a privacy coin, and what that means is it's built from. So Bitcoin, a lot of people think that Bitcoin is anonymous or private, but not really.
Right.
With a block explorer, you can see all of the. If you know the wallet.
It's pseudonym.
Yeah, pseudonymous. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know someone's wallet address, you can look up their funds right on the blockchain.
Okay.
But not with Monero. Monero is designed to be anonymous, and on the deep web, the dark web also, people used to use Bitcoin initially, but then once there was light children, they stopped using Bitcoin. Now everyone uses Monero, and it's built to be a private coin where no one can trace who's sending what money to whom. And yeah, you could say it could be used for criminal activity and this and that, but even fiat is used for criminal money, so it doesn't really
So true.
yeah,
Right.
fiat money. So the cool thing about Monero is, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it's built in. It has a coin. It has a mixer, so it mixes the transactions from the start, and it's hard to trace. The FBI or some NSA or some alphabet agency has a bounty for anyone who can crack the algorithm and trace the thing. It has a big bounty on Monero too, like because a lot of people's like monies in Monero, and I think even basically Monero is a pretty interesting
Sus project.
The privacy
Sus project. Right.
Sus project.
Yeah.
Of course preferences. Right? Like I understand what you appreciate about that project.
Yeah, appreciate.
What is the project that you don't like? The rupee.
The project that I don't like is the digital rupee. CBDCs in general are something that I'm sure they have some value and some utility, like the banking for all or the easier international transactions or all of that. But the cons seem too dangerous and too scary for me to want to adopt something like that, especially with the programmable money aspect of things. So I am a big no for CBDCs, a big yes to cryptos in general, and the decentralized projects.
Yeah.
So that's my
That's your
opinion. Yeah. What about you guys?
What about you, Ian?
I guess like there's plenty of crypto projects, and there are many use cases, many good projects.
Your favorite क्या है?
Yeah, I know. I think I don't have any particular favorite project when it comes to crypto, but in terms of NFTs, I really liked this one project that I don't remember the name of at this point of time.
Nice, that's your favorite.
But
like, I love this girl, but I can't remember her name.
It is an NFT project, and what I really liked about it is the way they did things. I'm trying to recall the name, but maybe I shall recall it.
What did the project do?
It's an NFT project.
We plug it in post.
So it's I'm trying to remember exactly what they did.
I don't even remember the utility.
Oh, the utility. I mean, you could. It was like just digital collectible. So digital collectible.
It's a PFP.
Do you remember how it looks?
Let's get
Man is like. Did you have a favorite project?
I do.
Achha, you had a favorite.
I had it in mind, but
seems very detailed for favorite
trying to
project.
not promote any project.
Achha, maybe you're just trying. Deep. Yeah.
Mind games.
What is the project that you don't like?
I offer a bounty to anyone who can crack this.
Put it in the comments below. Yeah, put it in the comments.
If you get correct, you get a free session.
Ian's project.
A project that I did not like. There were many projects that I didn't like, I guess, because the way they manage, or the way they go about.
But if one you had to say,
right.
He can't say negative about anyone.
put it in the comments. What did you think?
It's hard for me to say which project I didn't
This
like.
guy is very safe. He always uses production. Like,
No rest.
Layer 2.
Layer 2.
This joke you made once that Ian tells everyone to wear 2 condoms. He goes wrong.
ठीक है, so you don't want to like basically share to the world.
Fair play.
Fair. ठीक है. क्या बोलेगा? What about you? What do you?
I'm a big for OGs, in the crypto space. There's Bitcoin, then there's everything else.
Correct.
So there's one should not compare all cryptocurrencies that have a CEO with Bitcoin. Bitcoin started it all. It's on a different position and it's a different adoption rate than the other crypto projects. So for me in cryptocurrency, there's only Bitcoin. Everything else, take it with a pinch of salt. If you resonate with it, you can consider. The NFT space is where you hear about projects every day, and 99% are rug pulls, or you hear about them. It seems too good to be true. And the favorite project is obviously crazy cyber, but I don't do too much of a plug-in.
If you had to close second,
I think WeBe, man.
Yeah.
The amount of value
100%.
they've given to the community, and not only that, they keep reinventing. That's what the space is about. They've been the first to have such a strong community and give so much utility, but we won't not stop them. We come up 10 AYC, we come up with a game, we'll come up with the other side. There's always keeping the community on their toes and doing groundbreaking stuff. They're leading the way for everyone else. But if I had to, drop that kind of money, I'm more of a CryptoPunk guy. I'm a sucker for OGs.
I remember the project that I had in mind that I liked. It's called
the one that you liked or actually liked?
which is interesting to me, at least at this particular point of time, which is Sandbox. And what they're doing is allowing users to create your own kind of avatars, and I wouldn't call it metaverse because again there are so many definitions to what metaverse is and metaverse is. But Sandbox is an interesting project. It's not necessarily a project that I like and I feel that it's going to do great or it's going to success and you probably might not make money by investing in the project. But it's an interesting project that I feel that caught my attention for quite some time when I was like actively researching projects. So Sandbox is a cool project.
But the bounty for the project that he still doesn't like is live. It's active. So if you guys find out what it is in the comments below, one of you could get a giveaway from us. Yeah.
Another really cool project that I
I
really
remember
like
the project that I don't like.
Don't say it. You have lost the chance.
Okay.
it's called FCC. Do you want to talk about that?
No, we can't. Let him say what he wants to say.
Okay.
He has a
Yeah.
project that he doesn't like to.
Like,
Go for it.
I think Azuki, the founder, he was a known rug puller. He's done multiple scams in the past, and even after getting revealed, the community had already become very strong. They didn't let the price drop too much. But I'm like, come on, man! Like the creator itself is a scamster or a rug puller, so not something I wouldn't be proud to be associated with a project like that.
And I'm not saying that I don't like this particular project, but
Don't reveal the name.
This is not the project I don't like, but this
Acha.
is just a particular thing at a particular point of time when I was in those days of researching white papers and understanding project, actually tracking projects. Cardano or ADA, it's taken them so much time
to deliver
on what they mentioned, and I don't know what the future is of it, but I just felt like that was one project that maybe I know a lot of people still have faith in the whole project and I'm pretty sure they might do well or whatever, but I just felt at that particular point of time that there was something where they just took way too much time to get the product. It's been
Get it rolling, basically.
It's been one of the old, like really old projects, right? Cardano. There was another project that I was, very much invested in, which is called XRP, which is Ripple. At a point of time, it was like $120, $200 almost. And now I don't know where it is at. Like I don't even have access to those wallets. I mean, at this point of time. But yeah, I guess those two projects.
They didn't live up to the problem.
Maybe really
the potential.
Of what they could have been. I felt maybe the timing was a little bit off, I guess. But you never know, right? It's a crypto space. Everything is volatile and So, but yeah.
Nice. I would just like to kind of ask you. So you're saying Bitcoin is your favorite project, right? But somewhere, so again, my favorite project. That's why I guess I'm a little bit kind of defensive. So what Bitcoin did, right, is an alternate, banking system or like a transaction system, correct? But what truly took that idea to the next level is Ethereum. And by building like a layer on top of it, wherein now you can do smart contracts.
I think Ethereum is everyone's favorite, like
in a way,
favorite child.
Yeah, because
I'll reserve my comments for that.
because the idea of NFTs that we talk so much about is purely the baby of Ethereum because it took the same idea of decentralized data storage and the ledger and everything, and it just didn't just give a transaction utility to it. It gave transaction and what are you transacting for? It gave you the basis to build infrastructure on top of that. And that is what I think is the beauty of Ethereum, and it's a pioneer, and the person who made it is also a pioneer. Vitalik is phenomenal, right? Like it's roughly our age.
No,
and
younger than us.
I think he's older.
He's older.
He's older than us,
He's older.
but he's
But he's ahead of his time.
Us, I mean, y'all.
He's pretty much he's probably
Late 20s,
27,
late 20s.
late 20s or something, and he came up with it like when he was like under 20.
Yeah, he's ahead of his time.
My biggest takeaway from that is like, build products with the ability to give people tools to build, their own products and things like that. That's what Ethereum kind of did, right? And then Polygon did the same thing because they're built on Ethereum and Polygon is creating like tools.
They made it even more like,
more easier.
optimized and easier. Yeah, exactly.
And as you build tools for tools and tools for tools, I think that's what builds the community and also explores the possible solutions to multiple problems that we face.
No, I agree. So basically, yeah, my favorite project would be Ethereum. And
Absolutely.
what do you call it? Maybe like Vita, like new Putin is going to go to war 10 years. Like, you're like, कुछ बना के रखना चाहिए to safeguard us. But yeah, so that was one project, I guess. And a project that I don't like would be so safe moon. Safe moon, right?
Yeah.
Safe Moon is a project. Why I don't like it is
Everyone.
no one likes it, bro. It's a it's a solid Ponzi scheme, right? It's like basically how you feel safe. You feel so safe, like you're like you're going to the moon and you feel so safe. And the entire premise of the project is basically the more people that enter, the people who already hold the coins get a small percentage from the person who buys
Like
it.
an MLM scheme.
Like a huge MLM scheme.
Yeah.
So
Their marketing was so successful that my friend who does not know much about technology starts promoting this particular project. I'm like, wait, what? How are these guys already in crypto?
because they get referred and everything.
Yeah, like the whole referral kind of system that they.
And it fell apart, and because it fell apart, so the thing is that money was not. You didn't do anything with that money. The team who made it, pulled the money and left, like bucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's a proper Rockpool project. So I think that is like a project that didn't really, and the people didn't do any due diligence or put any thought, because this was backed by some pretty big celebrities.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not able to recollect the names, but this was like not like B-list celebrities, B-tier celebrities. These were like A-listers. A-listers who were like kind of like backing the project, and I was like, like, did you even check, like, and that's, I guess, my favorite.
And
Like,
it's just
just
a very important thing, right? If you're a celebrity or a person with, high potential of influencing other people, you're going to probably get a lot of brands or businesses approaching you to promote their product.
And doing due diligence is a very important part,
Most
which
important
brings me
thing.
to my next question, actually,
Yeah.
which is also why I kind of, I guess, in a biased way, said my least favorite project last. It's basically like, what are your opinions on celebrities in the Web3 space? Like what the kind of power they hold, the kind of things that they are capable of doing, and the things that have come off of it. Like, even in abroad, you have like Irene Dow, you have like, what do you call it? Snoop Dogg doing his own stuff. You have Elon Musk kind of like, moving the stock price of Tesla down but Dodge up, and like, there are like so many wild stuff, like celebrities or opinion leaders in general in the space. What are your opinions on that? If
I think we should not term all celebrities under one umbrella.
Yeah.
There will be two types of celebrities.
There's the good and the bad. Yeah.
Not the good and the bad. People who will take money and promote anything, and people who will add value to that particular industry.
True.
So most of the celebrities, unfortunately, are in the first kind, where they'll take money and just promote anything, and they know they have an audience, they can reach so many people, and obviously it's very lucrative for scammers to get in touch with them and then to promote. But there's some people like Elon, like Snoop, who are coming, who are building communities, who are doing cool things. So obviously we should encourage or support or look up to the second kind. But crypto or Web3 as its own is going to have its own celebrities.
Yeah.
You don't need to import celebrities from outside. So in the start, obviously, because there are not that many new celebrities, but lots of people doing cool stuff in the next few years. Anyone who's not adding value or not authentic, will not be taken seriously.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I don't blame like the celebrities for like just taking money and
Why?
But I do feel like we need to provide them access to information of how to do that research.
Oh man, like, come on, if you're taking money and promoting something and you're not doing your own research, you
should know, right?
Actually, that's true.
There's no excuse for it.
There's
That's
no
what life
excuse.
is. And unfortunately, they still have a brand name, they still have influence, so they're getting away with it to some degree.
Yeah. a lot of celebrities also, from what I've noticed is, they just want to, they take the money and all for promotion, but they don't even know what they're promoting at the end of the day. They just read a script or follow the.
They don't even know where the money is coming from.
Exactly.
Like, they're just like, like some oligarchs like just pouring money in, and they're just like, I don't know,
from
but
Russia,
I like that money.
Yeah, from Russia to Dubai to somewhere else to India, and then it's a whole chain of things we've heard.
I think it's very important for everyone to learn how to differentiate between projects and what are the steps, what are the green flags and red flags for every project. And this doesn't apply to just crypto Web3. I think it applies to even like Web2 companies or like in general.
Course,
like, you need to be able to identify.
Because even in it's like the Indian startup ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Very similar, right?
Very similar.
You're pumping the value up, right? And then after people buy it out, you just like out or like you're not living up to the promises anymore. But you have made your money.
Exactly.
Right, and that's like even Kim Kardashian had a similar run, and the Kim Kardashian, a couple of other celebrities.
A lot of
celebrities like just pumping up the value, and then getting out, and then there has been some FBI.
I think recently the US government went after a few YouTubers and TikTokers for promoting crypto scams.
Yeah.
I forgot which ones, but I heard about.
Yeah, exactly. So of course there has to be some remedials, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it's a very powerful space there, but there are also good ones like that kind of like give.
So great centralization is not all bad, and the government is coming after
some
not
always bad.
Not always.
Sometimes
some.
We need to find a balance, like some kind of balance where people are not being just tyrannized, or where people are not, where it's not complete anarchy either. It's like a sensible like regulation or sensible balance between the two would be nice.
Of course, and I would say like good opinion leaders can lead to good outcomes as well.
100%.
Good opinion leaders can lead to good outcomes as well.
It's about building communities at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So building strong and good communities is another thing that people are going to start seeking to learn and practicing the same.
Of course, and what is like one project or like one Indian celebrity that you see like very involved in the space?
In the crypto space?
The Web3 space.
Tanmay Bhatt is
pretty good. Yeah, he's doing pretty good. He's like co-founded a few projects. He's invested into a few projects, and he's pretty bullish. He's also doing his best to educate his audience.
Yeah, he's a nice, he's a good voice for crypto. Yeah,
he's legend. I think I've come across Hitesh Malviya. He's another person who's been like OG 7-8 years in Bitcoin. He's trying his best for adoption and simplifying topics. Really educated. Hitesh, if you're watching, would love to have you on the podcast someday.
Yeah, no? Yeah, of course.
He's a cool guy.
Same with Tanmay also, honestly. Tanmay, if you want to come, like...
Yeah.
I have a number, I'll call you. Just comment, And what do you call it? Ian, what about you?
I primarily follow a lot of artists in this space.
Artists, okay.
Because I'm like designer, I like
Creative
director. I've been following a few. Recently got introduced to an artist called Bolt and he's a really cool artist.
Aditya Chawla, I think, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Aditya Chawla. And I like his way of looking at things and creating his art. And
you like how it's art?
Yep. I originally, so there was this event called Sauce. And
pretty cool IP by our friend Himanshu,
yeah.
4x4.
It was a really cool curation of different artists, and this was one particular NFT that slid past like one of the screens that was in the walkway, and it was pretty cool. And then I just like looked him up on Instagram and found out art.
And a lot more about.
Yeah, and I think again NFTs is a great way for like certain artists get their art out there. It's a different way of platforming, showcasing your work at the end of the day, and for artists who
it's a great way, man. Like I think the biggest problem for artists is royalties.
Yeah.
And
how do you track your royalties, right?
Exactly. Once they embedded in the
No, I mean,
yeah.
So like even like people who wanna like kind of like bypass like a record label or a big company, and just directly reach out to the community and audience. It's a great way. I remember there was this like 12-year-old who kind of was struggling with like school or education tuition or whatever, and drew some whales and put it on the blockchain. Made it like they could then fund, they could more than fund their education or tuition, they could fund their life, like literally. And it's a revolutionary thing for artists.
Right.
Like people being one of the most, like I guess
I think most credit would
benefited.
go to people for like sparking the NFT kind of revolution.
Yeah, I think also for the viewers, we should give them a overview on the different kinds of NFTs, because NFTs are such a confusing word. It can be in art, it can be in gaming, it can be in music.
Virtual
anything that is digital
Yes,
can become an NFT.
Yes,
Or anything that is physical can also have their digital footprint.
Representation.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think that's basically in a nutshell what
It could be code, it could be a video, it could be a photo, it could be music, audio, right?
Yeah.
So
it could be your attendance, it could be your certificate from your university, it could be your property papers. I don't know. Like
so that's the reason why a lot of people say like NFT is not just a JPEG. I mean, what people have initially been exposed to are JPEG because of like BAYC, like monkeys, right?
Like,
so people have been, our brains have been accustomed to thinking that it's just an image. But if you do a little bit more research on what the technology is, you come to know like anything digital can be made into an NFT at the end of the day.
And interesting that you brought up what are like, you want to say something?
Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
So sorry.
But the most common thing about NFTs is like I can just right click and save it.
That was exactly what I was getting to. Like,
I can take a screenshot.
So what are your thoughts on that? Like just right clicking and like being able to save, and now I have an NFT. Like what do you say to those people who like?
So
thank you, because they are marketing my NFT for me. So
they think they own it, but
they think they own it. Like they can try it. It's not what I think, what they think.
Yeah.
If they're taking a screenshot of my NFT and they're using it, I'm happy that they are. But why don't they try selling it in the open market? What will that value be? In all probability, it will be zero or really close to zero. Because when somebody wants to buy something, they want the original. I can hang the replica of the Mona Lisa out here, and people may appreciate it, like it when they come to my house. But if somebody wants to buy it, no one is going to want to buy this one. I really want to own the original one.
Yeah.
So anything that's on the blockchain, the ownership can be verified. And if ownership can be verified, then there's a market for it. So that's the idea.
well said.
So please right click and save.
Save more.
Save more
and
promote it more.
Yeah, I read something very interesting from a LinkedIn post from a Web3 guy. I forgot his name, can't remember. But he said people don't hate tokens or NFTs; they hate JPEGs. And the first, since NFTs is such a new thing, the first implementation or use case is PFPs, right, profile pictures. But as time passes, I think we'll see a lot more better use cases and a lot more mature use cases like the registry thing, a lot of things.
I think number one use case will always be PFPs.
Yeah.
It'll be the
For
most
sure.
common one. It'll be
Identity.
digital identity you're expressing and part of a community.
Yeah.
I think the market is set. I think till now, I think more than 50% are PFP projects,
Yes.
and markets have adopted. It may change a little bit, but I think number one in terms of what has caught people's fancy.
Is the PFPs, for sure.
I now remember what was the project that I actually liked.
Nay. You have lost your
Next podcast.
Next podcast comment section. Nay, but I would say, what do you call it? In a nutshell, right click and save more is what I guess.
But you can't like right click and save, let's say, a 3D file that's interactive. This is a cool project that was launched by Deadmau5 called, I think, Head 5 or Mau5 something.
You are trying to plug your favorite project.
No, that's not my favorite project. I'm just telling you that there's a cool 3D project.
It's not my favorite.
It's not my favorite, but you can't right click and save a 3D.
Acha.
Revolving NFT.
Pretty cool.
So yeah.
Awesome. Do you guys own any NFTs?
Yeah, I think.
What is like the most proud NFT or like your favorite NFT that you have?
I have one of Snoop Dogg's NFTs. I think that's cool. I think he's authentic. He loves to try new things. I like what he stands for. He's a cool guy. So one of the NFTs. I think the people from the community may know the other one, but I think everyone will know Snoop Dogg. And I think the most popular one is his.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Ian,
Yeah, I proudly own again the Crazy Cyber Crew NFT and also my own NFTs. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, like I usually don't buy NFTs from the market. I like to create them. So and when it comes to the NFT space, I'm the creator. More of that.
More than a consumer.
Yeah.
For me, of course, the CCC NFTs are great. I love them. And I own a Jinxed NFT, which is again Ian's NFT, the one which he created, and it's great. Like, it was a nice charity fundraiser project that it was for a good cause. For Christmas, he donated a lot of meals with the money raised, and he planted a tree.
Like orphans and
And he didn't just buy the meals, right? He cooked the meals himself, and he donated those meals. So it was a lot of effort and very nice thing. So I own one of the PFP NFTs of that, and I own the
The
t-shirt.
funds were for the ingredients, huh? He was not like, paisa do main, like,
Yeah, because you can do so many cool things, with NFTs, and like I felt that at that particular point of time, it's a cool thing to give people for purchasing something. Right?
Yeah, and it's a memory.
Yeah.
You do something nice, you do some charity, and you have something to show for it.
Yeah,
Why
it's
not?
a remembrance that okay, this happened at this particular point of time and date. Right?
Absolutely.
I'm just sad that Instagram is ruining the future of digital collectibles.
Pretty sad.
Maybe in the future, Elon Musk can do something.
Hopefully, buy Instagram.
You can already display your PFP as a profile picture on
Twitter.
It's only a matter of time till crypto starts getting accepted, till it becomes more. You can showcase more than just a profile picture.
The next bull run, I guess.
Yeah, and I think Meta has
Dropped the ball.
dropped the ball, shown itself for just being opportunistic and trying something, then just changing it abruptly, overnight.
Yeah.
Being a
It shows
sellout,
that-
right? Like,
Yeah, no, being a sellout, being opportunistic and not being authentic.
Yeah.
If you really cared, if you really believe in the space, you would let it go.
Yeah.
You would let that feature be.
Yeah.
But they're changing.
There's no need to remove it only. Like, it was a good feature.
Yeah,
It was
but we
interesting.
can't even say. I don't know. Did they face any political or legal issues? I don't
Maybe,
know.
no, obviously not.
Yeah, it's a minor
But yeah,
thing.
but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
the final section that I kind of, or final question rather, or topic that I would rather cover, and then we kind of can move towards the conclusion or the ending of our podcast for the first episode of WeBe Talking Web3. Right. So the final topic would be, what are your opinions or thoughts, or for the future of the space? What do you think? Where do you think the space is headed? Do you guys think that is the metaverse? That is what do you think? Is the game-changing factor?
Yeah, I think kids born today will laugh at us when we tell them that they, I used to have one app for messaging, one app for social media and photo sharing, one app for calling somebody else, and they'll be like, why did you need different apps for all these things? Everything will happen in the metaverse. We log on, we send photos to one person, send work emails to one person, and add friends, Tinder, everything will just be in one giant ecosystem, and that will be the metaverse. It'll be in 2D, 3D, yet to see, and be a lot of clever people are working on it. But that is one worldview. There's also going to be digital currency, CBDCs. As much as we think it has the potential to be misused, the CBDCs are going to be a reality. Cash is going to be really less. Also, there will be Bitcoin. People who want to do everything within a certain framework will use CBDCs. People who want to be a little off-grid and want to provide their goods and services for other cryptocurrencies, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum and a few others, or something new completely will be there as well, which will not be controlled by the governments. They'll be parallel.
Right.
Like how in the real world we have bank account and we have cash. So the online world, the cash will be the cryptocurrency and the bank accounts will be CBDCs. AI will be play a big part of our lives. I think much bigger impact than we can think or we can imagine right now.
Yeah.
But once Pandora's box is open, you can't put it back.
You can't put
There's no slowing it down now. There is no pausing something
Can't reset.
as big as that.
Yeah.
It has
It is
just come
checkpoint.
out. Now it's going to keep evolving. And let's see, it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be
we can have the potential to create a perfect world and also to destroy it.
Yeah.
But let that for the future generations.
Future generation decide.
Yeah. We'll figure out how it goes.
Let them figure it out.
What do you think, Craig?
So,
What
yeah.
future Like,
In
what do you see the
Web3 and
future
stuff.
ahead? Yeah.
Yeah. So a bunch of things actually. One thing for sure is AR fashion and AR trends. So whenever we get these AR goggles as like when they become more mainstream, and let's say now I have normal glasses, but when I get these AR glasses, when they become by default, there'll be a lot like how the Nike has the what's it called, artifact or something.
Yeah,
So,
RTFK.
yeah, there'll be a lot of AR fashion things, and a lot of there'll be parties where everyone's wearing those goggles, and everyone has like wings, everyone has these digital sneakers or armors and stuff. If you take them off, it looks like you're just wearing normal clothes. But when you put those glasses on, and everyone in that area and like that party, let's say, has those glasses on and they're wearing different things, it look like they have wings, it look like they are wearing armor, or it'll be a cool thing, right?
Yeah.
AR fashion, and that's something I see that can definitely happen.
Yep, I definitely have like mixed views on like the future potential of metaverse and crypto and AR, VR, because again at the end of the day we are human beings, right? So as human beings there are certain natural things that we won't be able to artificially get used to. You might get used to it for like some amount of time, but after a particular point of time you'll drop back and you'll want to go back to being and living normally. So I guess it's up to like the people who are building the metaverse, AR, VR, to find how we can balance it and how can we properly adapt it and optimize it for the best way a human being can function, right? At the end of the day, if we are able to achieve that, then I guess that's the thing that becomes easy to use, and just like how smartphones were invented, it's convenient. You can charge it, you can use it anytime. That's the reason why we've adapted it. We're using it today, right?
Yeah.
So we need to do that. We need to crack the product that will be sustainable and feasible, compatible with the human being at the end of the day. That will definitely work in the future.
Yeah.
And we are on a Meta has attempted. That's just one company.
Yeah.
That has attempted to do that, right? And I don't know whether they are successful or they have failed right now. I can't say. I'm not following. But I think as more companies, more people, more entrepreneurs, more of a younger generation starts attempting to solve certain problems, finding if we can find a particular use case towards using what we have today, I think we'll be getting closer to that first prototype or the first actual mainstream use case of these technologies and products.
Yeah, I think all opinions kind of is like who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, right? I think that's the central core from which it's like stemming out from, because the possibilities are so much, like what can react with what and form what is like immense. The potential is immense. But in terms of like somewhere I think I do resonate with one of the things that you said, which is there's already so much noise with the current amount of tech. Adding one more layer of immersion wherein like you're completely immersed into another reality, how much noise can you handle, or how much noise will then that system subject you to, and these kind of things kind of make, and also infrastructure wise also we are looking at only now our phones reaching villages, like after last 5 years is when internet and phones is reaching villages and everything.
So you have to get internet to each and every part of the geographical area.
Yeah, it's still pretty much there. Like there are it's pretty good. Like if today I don't know if you guys travel or not, but if I go to like any other rural place in India,
it's improved.
Yeah, I can make a call.
It's improved.
I can make a call. There is some reception somewhat. So it's a lot better than before. Before, if you're going on a trip, you know that okay, God bless. I don't know if I'm going to talk to my friends again for like at least until I come back, right? So it's a lot better, right? And it's now reached this point. So infrastructure reaching, like hardware reaching, where software has reached, is a lot tougher. There's a lot of investment and a lot of money, a lot of capital that needs to be put in, and usually the world only focuses on the top 5%.
Right.
And I think that is the main challenge in the visions that we have described today to actually kind of happen, for it to realize it is going to be a huge infrastructure problem. Maybe software and hardware both kind of things slowly done. At least right now, as things kind of seem to be, it seems like we won't be able to handle that kind of noise. But in the future, the things that I know for a fact is going to stay is the tech which is blockchain tech.
Yeah.
And I think decentralized ledgers are going to be taking over, wherein everything has their digital footprint. All your registrations, documentation.
Easy way to keep things in track.
Yeah, because like for example, even something like let's say I know there is hardware today that allows farmers to farm and remember each and every plant in their field and know exactly how much nutrition it needs, and uske hisab se like putting appropriate chemicals to grow that plant.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're able to keep track at that level, having a digital footprint means you can keep track of it until it reaches the end consumer. So you know the exact history of the product that you're about to consume.
Right.
These kind of revolutionary things are definitely, I think, where
100%.
value is headed, and
Yeah.
things are going to happen in that direction. Metaverse is still for me a little speculative because infrastructure is not really set up right now.
Yeah.
But maybe another generation or 2 generations later, who knows? Like technology is heading too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be possible, but how much the adoption really boils down to capital.
Another thing to add to that also is very valid points by everyone. Something that will stay, I feel like, is bridges. So
Oh yes.
now everyone drives a car or rides a bike, right? But you don't know how, but not everyone knows how the engine works or what is happening inside, like behind closed doors or under the hood. Not everyone knows what's happening.
Yeah.
So you only realize, oh shit, there's a whole infrastructure that's letting me to drive my cars. When your car breaks down, then you're like, oh shit. Then you open it and realize there's a whole system that's in place, and some people actually build this and repair this. So building these bridges is what's going to be something that I see in the future, what we learn from a mentor as well. So no one will care what gas fees is as long as their app works. If it's a blockchain app,
Like
and
who
it's-
cares if it's Ethereum or Solana
yeah,
or
whatever chain it is, they don't care as long as some problems being
Being
solved,
solved.
some values being added to you, or some time is being saved, right? If
Right.
blockchain helps in any of these things, or
Absolutely.
it needs to be more user friendly,
Yeah, more
more
user-friendly.
commodity or like more consumer friendly. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, bridges.
So these bridges, whoever builds these bridges will, gain a lot of value and add a lot of value to
Right.
market.
Absolutely agree.
100%.
I guess with that, we are kind of coming to the final part of our podcast. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. One of the things that I would like you guys, and thank you guys so much for sharing all this value and spending your time of the day.
Thank you very much.
Or you could have done so many other things, but thanks a lot for doing
Thank
this.
you.
And I would like to kind of just share, apart from CCC, Crazy Cyber Crew,
Yeah.
to view as a resource and consume information in easy manners, easy, basically, and making Web3 accessible and making the information knowledge of this space more consumer friendly is what we are trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Apart from us, what other resources do you guys want to recommend to the users, or what are good things that they could kind of learn more about the things that we talked about today? If you guys want to recommend something personally.
I think obviously the basics are blockchain, cryptography, and digital assets. Once you read about or you have basic information, you'll be inclined to one or the other will attract you. And then obviously deep dive. There's no shortcut. There's no easy way. As you said, do your own research, start getting involved in the space, talk to people, and that's it.
Yeah.
Any particular
I think
resources?
as humans, we love learning with other human beings. Basically, there are a lot of communities available everywhere in the world, and you need to find your tribe. You need to find your community that you can learn with at the end of the day. So, CCC is also a community that people can learn with, but find your community. That's my only kind of suggestion I can give you, is find your community to learn with. If you love learning with the community, I do believe that you learn faster with a community at the end of the day. As a designer, I've learned UI UX faster by joining UI UX communities, right? So it's about finding those like-minded people and learning with those people, and just keep on learning. Just keep on educating yourself, because that's gonna allow you to syntopically decide what information is true and what information is false. In this whole world where there's so much of noise, so much of sources of information are a lot, right? But the more knowledge time you spend by yourself, doing your research, doing your homework, learning anything, not just Web3 or blockchain, anything, you'll be able to be in a better position to, your brain will be able to say whether this is true or false. Simply you can learn, unlearn, and relearn everything, right? All this.
If I can just add to what Ian said, I think especially if anyone is over 40, watching this, you have to check your bias. We feel that the world is perfect, the way it's going on, it should not change, or any change is bad. I think the young people are more adaptive, more curious to learn. But as you get older, your worldview tends to get fixed, and anything new that comes, you inherently distrust or you reject.
Right.
Especially for people above 40, check your biases. Learn a little bit about the space, see if it is for you. So you can definitely reject it or accept it, doesn't matter. But learn about it first before, or make an informed decision, whatever decision.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And that brings us to the conclusion. Thanks a lot for watching. Do subscribe if you like this podcast, and if you would like to see more of this. Do let us know which guests would you be interested in us kind of reaching out and calling them in. From the next podcast onwards, I believe we would try and incorporate some guests. Call in some interesting people to share some interesting thoughts. We also continuously upload reels and shorts. We continuously also keep uploading educative content about Web3 and AI on this channel. And this was your host Puro, and thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Hey guys.
Thank you guys.